You wake up, the alarm rings, you rush to eat, you commute to work, you spend 4 hours in the office or the factory, you eat lunch, you work 4 more hours, you commute home, you eat, and you sleep, only to repeat the exact same rhythm on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This mechanical routine is easily followed most of the time, but one day the why arises, and everything begins in that weariness tinged with amazement. This is how the French philosopher Albert Camus described the trap of modern existence, a cycle that keeps the majority of people stuck in mediocrity, sleepwalking through a life they never consciously chose. If you want to manifest wealth and break free from this cycle to build true abundance, you must first understand the philosophy of absurdism, because it holds the key to the ultimate mental freedom required to become rich. The foundation of this philosophy is the confrontation between your deep human desire for meaning, success, and order, and the unreasonable silence of the world. We constantly ask the universe, "What is my purpose?" or "Why am I not rich yet?" and the universe responds with absolute silence. Most people are terrified by this silence because they are waiting for permission to be successful, they are waiting for a sign that they are destined to be wealthy or that there is a cosmic plan for their riches. Camus teaches us that this silence is not a tragedy, but the greatest opportunity of your life. If the universe has no inherent meaning and no pre-written script for you, it means you are absolutely free to attribute any meaning to it you want. You do not need to wait for a boss to promote you, for the economy to be perfect, or for society to tell you that you are worthy. In a purposeless universe, you are the creator who gets to decide that your life's meaning is to build an empire, generate massive wealth, and live on your own terms. To achieve this, you must adopt the mindset of what Camus called the absurd conqueror. The conqueror is a person who knows that their victories might not last forever, that eventually all empires fade, and that death is inevitable, yet they choose to act, build, and conquer anyway with intense passion. This is the mindset of the elite entrepreneur. While the average person is paralyzed by the fear that they might fail, the absurd conqueror operates with a "so what" attitude. If you launch a business and it struggles, so what? If you lose a deal, who cares? In a meaningless universe, these failures are not moral judgments on your soul, they are simply events in a chaotic world. By accepting that failure is just part of the game, you unlock the courage to take the massive risks that are necessary to get rich. You stop striving for the eternal and start living intensely in the present, choosing the sword of action over the cross of waiting and hoping. However, the path to wealth is not a straight line, and this is where the myth of Sisyphus becomes your blueprint for resilience. In Greek mythology, Sisyphus was a king condemned to push a massive boulder up a mountain, only to watch it roll back down to the bottom the moment he reached the top, forcing him to start over for eternity. This looks like the daily grind of building a business, the cold calls, the late nights, the setbacks, the market crashes that send your rock rolling back down. To the outsider, this looks like futility, but Camus gives us the secret to becoming unstoppable. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. If you only work for the distant goal of retirement or a specific number in your bank account, you will be miserable because you are always living for a future that hasn't arrived. The secret to manifesting wealth is to fall in love with the struggle toward the heights. When you find joy in the grind itself, when the exertion of pushing the boulder makes you feel alive and powerful, you become immune to burnout. You push the rock not because you are being punished, but because it is your rebellion against a mediocre life. This rebellion is crucial because, as Camus famously said, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Poverty, financial dependence, and the 9-to-5 streetcar office sleep routine are conditions you must revolt against. When you decide to become rich, you are not just chasing paper, you are fighting for your autonomy. Camus noted that, solitude is a luxury of the rich. In a crowded, noisy world where everyone is forced into the herd mentality, money buys you the space to be yourself. It buys you the time to think, the freedom to travel, and the ability to live authentically without being crushed by economic necessity. You pursue wealth not to impress others, but to secure the resources that allow you to live your own truth in a world that wants you to conform. Finally, you must reject what Camus called philosophical suicide, which is the act of relying on false hope or blindly following a doctrine to make yourself feel safe. Many people commit this suicide by settling for a safe job they hate because they hope it will pay off in a secure retirement 40 years from now. They sacrifice their present life for a future that is not guaranteed. To manifest wealth, you must live, without appeal, meaning you take full responsibility for your life right now. You stop hoping for a lucky break and start creating your own luck. You realize that no one is coming to save you, and that realization is what sets you free to save yourself. You are Sisyphus, and the boulder is your business, your career, your financial destiny. The moment you turn back down the hill to pick up your rock after a failure, you are superior to your fate because you are choosing it. You are the master of your days. Push your boulder with pride, create your empire with defiance, and realize that in a world without inherent rules, you are the king who gets to write them. The struggle itself is enough to fill a man's heart, so go out there, embrace the absurd, and get rich.